Alrighty everyone, what is going on and welcome back to today's video. In today's video we're getting into something that obviously is not gameplay based, as you can see on the screen. Today I'm doing the ultimate tier list of operators in the attacking side in Rainbow Six Siege 2021. So I just thought, I haven't done one of these in ages. I have done tier lists before. Maybe my skill might have been different back then, like I might have been a better rank. But I still think my knowledge as a player, as someone who's been playing forever, still is enough to sit here, make tier lists, and yeah, hopefully they're somewhat good. I think out of the videos I have made in the previous times, like my tier list rankings, I haven't really gotten too much disagreement. Obviously we all have different opinions on specific individuals, but as a whole, I think most of the time my videos are pretty well received, I think, so far from what I've uploaded, but that is to be found out with today's video. But with that said though, if you guys do find this useful, do let me know in the comments down below, and also leave a like on this video if you find it enjoyable so more people can find use out of this. Leave a sub on the channel with the notification bell if you're interested in checking out more videos like this one, and also make sure to come check out my Twitch streams. I stream there every second day over on Twitch. I have slowed down on the streams, but I still do stream there a lot, and I'd love to see you guys there. But with that said, I just want to quickly go into how I'm going to be doing this. I don't want to make this video incredibly long, so I'm probably going to only do brief descriptions of the operator when I pick them, but I will explain why I'm putting them in that certain spot. But I probably won't go over like every single specific thing that I go over in an operator guide. I have an operator guide for every single operator, so if you want a specific operator guide, there's a playlist in the playlist section of my channel, and that'll go way more in depth of every operator that I place in this list. But with that said, I think that's all I have to say. Let's get into it. So starting off, we're going to start off with Knock. Now, my opinion on Knock has changed a lot since the last tier list, because I did go back and watch the last tier list before this one to see what I'm going to end up changing. I had put Knock in the lowest tier in the last one because I thought she just had no utilization. In all honesty, she isn't the best operator, and I'm not going to put her in the S tier. I'm not going there at all. I'm just going to say that I think she is a little bit better than the D tier at the moment. I think she definitely probably belongs in the C. I think she's definitely, in my opinion, my perspective on her has grown a little bit. She has a lot of potential in terms of sneaking. Like half the time when I die to a knock, I don't hear a thing. The only time you can ever like really figure it out is if you see a knock is on the other team, and pretty much if I see that before the knock kills me, then my awareness is like skyrocketed. As soon as I hear that little faint sound, which you do get when you hear a knock, I'm able to take advantage of it. But if I don't know there's a knock on the other team, most of the time the knock will jump the shit out of me and scare me, and will kill me. So there's definitely a lot of potential with a smart player using her. I think it just takes a little bit of practice to get used to her, and you'll probably be all over it. I think she definitely belongs. I don't think she's a bottom tier operator. Yana, on the other hand, I'm gonna be honest. I think she's a bottom tier operator. Obviously, with her gadget, she has the hologram. It's not a terrible gadget, but I think just like everyone thought it was a good idea when it first happened, but I think when they progressively released her, once they released her and as she progressively got used more and more, I think people found out that it really just isn't that useful. Although it's pretty much just extra drones, which can be useful, I think it just really doesn't provide any extra information that you can't get from your drone. Like everyone has a drone, everyone has two drones. As long as you utilize them well, I feel like you can get the exact same outcome with any attacking operator that you can get from Yana. And her weapons are not terrible, like G360, ARX, but I just don't think they don't really save her from her overall scheme. And I think, yeah, I just don't think she really does anything at all. This is probably what I would have said about Knock in the last one, so I just don't think she belongs anywhere other than the D tier. Next up we have Montang. So Montang, I think he's definitely the best shield operator that you can bring. So I think he definitely belongs somewhere. In terms of support, he's definitely the best shield you can bring. I know I've said that already, but I'm just trying to make it clear he is the best shield. He has a lot of potential in terms of pushing with a team, making cover. He's obviously not the best individual operator, but in terms of his support presence, I think he definitely belongs in a higher tier just because it really depends. He's a B tier if you're playing with a team and you have communications. If you're playing him alone, it's probably a D. So out of that, actually, it's probably a C tier. I think that's probably where Montang belongs. He has potential, but he really has to be utilized quite well to actually make advantage of that potential. Alrighty, so next up we have Ace. So Ace is obviously one of the few hard breaches in this game with Habana, Thermite, Ace. Ace is the newest one, I think. I don't know, but with the hard breach charge being added, there's just the equipment, that like a lot of operators have. I don't even know. I think Amaru has it. Just a few, like, I feel like they gave it to operators that don't have the best pick rates to kind of pick them up. It does kind of overshadow the whole hard breach concept, because obviously you can do it with these random operators now. Obviously, I'm not saying these guys are better, but I think Ace is the second strongest hard breacher behind Thermite. That will always be my opinion. But his weapons overall, the AK-12, his loadout, does everything about him kind of does work into a high tier operator. I definitely think he belongs up there in the A tier. Any hard breacher is obviously a high tier operator, but I just think, I honestly think Habana and Thermite both have their own individual roles, and I think Ace is kind of just a mix of the two. So I think he is an S tier, but he's still a high quality operator and he belongs in A. Next up we have Amaru. Amaru is obviously Amaru. Most people who play her don't know how to play her, which can make people think that the operator is just terrible. But the operator herself is not bad. She has a really great weapon in the G8A1 primary. She has a shotgun secondary. She has an ability to repel wherever she wants. But really it is quite an individualized gadget. It doesn't really bring any utilization to the team, which means it definitely can't be a top tier operator. But I think she definitely has potential as a fragger, and that really just falls upon whoever can play her. So I think she belongs in about the C tier, because Nock fits that same role there. And Montang's obviously a hard support, but pretty much that's all he can do. He has no fragging capabilities, so that's why I don't have him higher up. But with that said, that's Amaru. Alright, so next up we have Blackbeard. Now, Blackbeard can be a controversial one. I think some people think he is godly, and other people don't like him at all. That's fair enough. I think Blackbeard definitely fits into a solid tier operator. He definitely isn't terrible, and he definitely isn't goated. He's definitely in the middle, which means I think he probably is about a B tier operator, honestly, so I'm just going to slap him in there. He has access to the rifle shield, obviously, which refrains him from getting shot in the head unless you're incredibly unlucky. And I personally have done that to a Blackbeard before, and you don't want to see the messages I got sent after it. But yeah, obviously the rifle shield is a really effective gadget, but again, obviously it slows you the hell down. It really is only a self-centered gadget. It doesn't really benefit anyone else, and if you don't, it really just depends on the player, not the operator, on how well a certain individual is going to play said operator, such as Blackbeard. So really, I think he does have an overall about a middle of the line operator build. I think that's where he belongs. So next up we have Blitz. Now Blitz obviously has a lot of potential in a really good player. So do a lot of these operators. Pretty much every operator has a lot of potential in a really good player. Let's be honest. But in terms of the shield game, I think he is definitely the weaker shield. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think Montang probably should be jacked up to a B, so Blitz can go into the C, because obviously I said Montang is the better overall shield, so I think he should probably be a tier higher. I think Montang probably does fit into the B tier better, because he is a really strong support operator. But Blitz is more of the fragging side of the shield, and I think his overall utilization is quite terrible, honestly. Like, his flash range is pretty trash. He really can't do much with that shield because he has to get up close, which like 99% of Siege players won't let you get that close. You can obviously shoot your pistol, but obviously you only have a pistol going against fully automatic weapons. I think really he's just every downfall of Montang other than the flash, and obviously a really good Blitz player can make utilization out of Blitz. But I think in the general population, I think Blitz probably belongs in about the C tier. Next up we have Buck. Now Buck obviously is a very high tier operator. He has access to strong vertical play utilizing his ability, which is the skeleton key. He also has access to the C8, which is a really great overall assault rifle once you can get its recoil down pat. And overall is just a really good operator, but I still don't think he'll ever really top Sledge, especially after he lost frag grenades, however long ago that was now. I'd say he's never had frag grenades for like a lot of the people who play the game these days, so I think he'll always be below Sledge, so that's why I think he'll go in the A tier. He's obviously a really good all-around operator. His vertical potential is incredible. He has a lot of utilization in vertical play, along with a lot of fragging capabilities as well. So he really does have a good team build. But he's always going to be inferior to Sledge, in my opinion, because he lost the frag grenades. If he still had frag grenades, he'd probably be better than Sledge. I think that was my opinion. I don't know if I made a tier list before that, but when he had frag grenades, he was definitely superior to Sledge. But since he lost them, I think in terms of vertical play, you're going to want those frag grenades, so I think Sledge will always be better. Next up, we have Dokkabai. Now, this is someone who you either love or you hate. I feel like that's pretty much the standard relationship with Dokkabai. You're either gonna put her at the top of your list and think she's the best operator in the game, or you just think, why is she even in this game? But let's break it down, right? She doesn't have access to an assault rifle or an SMG or anything. Her primary is a DMR, which does put her at a little bit of a deficit in the general population's point of view, because obviously DMRs are not for a lot of people. It takes a lot of practice to get used to them. It takes a lot of efficiency to get used to them. Fair enough. But her secondaries consist of the, what's it called? The C7 Auto, I think it's called. Let me just double check that. And she also has access to the SMG-12. It is called the... Oh no, she doesn't have the C7 Auto, sorry. That got replaced. She has the Gone 6. Yeah, okay. I completely forgot this existed. Some operators that I might have talked about, their secondaries might have this, my bad. But the explosive projectiles one, obviously, coolio. It doesn't really destroy bulletproof gadgets, etc, etc. I think the SMG-12 is definitely what you should bring. I don't think the Gone 6 really... I don't even know how overpowered it is. I haven't even heard of that. Okay, my bad. But yeah, DMR, BOS-G primaries, SMG-12 secondary. That's what I'm going to roll with. So obviously she doesn't have that strong primary weapon, but she does have a quite... Like, the SMG-12 is still a really strong secondary. And her gadget, which is obviously an intel gathering gadget, it's not terrible. It really isn't. I think she definitely is a solid operator in the right hands, and I think her overall build puts her about... It's really on the cusp, honestly, but I'm going to go with B. I think B is a solid fit for Dokkaebai. Next up, we have Finka. Now, Finka, I did have a few comments in the last operator guide I did saying Finka should be higher. I'm pretty sure I put her at about C, I think. But I'd say these days, now that if I actually like think about it, and the reasoning behind those comments that I've obviously just come off reading, is she has a really good weapon. She has the spear. She has a really efficient gadget in terms of boosting your health. That's always handy. And just overall, just a solid build. And with that summed up, I'd say if I did put her anywhere below here, I'm gonna put her here this time. I still don't think she's S tier. I'm pretty sure someone said she should be S tier. I think that's just your opinion. I don't think she's really a top of the line operator. I don't think I ever will. But I do think she's a solid operator. Anything above B is me complimenting them pretty much. C isn't terrible. Anything in D is pretty much sucky. This is like they're cool, but they're not. Their abilities overall aren't really the best. Here and above are good operators. That's what I'll go with. But yeah, Finka, not a terrible operator, but she definitely could use work. Alright, next up we have Flaws, the newbie on the field. Now, obviously, his gadget, it's cool and all. It's pretty much an upgraded Twitch, in my opinion. I think he definitely is better than Twitch. His weapon isn't as good as Twitch. I think the AR-33 is a good weapon. I'm not hating on the AR-33, but the F2 is really, like, never be topped. Probably my favorite weapon in the game. Even though I don't use it anymore, it will always be my favorite weapon in the game. Maybe Zofia behind her, I don't know. But Flaws is just, he's a good build. He really is. I'm probably going to say this a lot, but that's how a lot of operators should be. They should be good, balanced builds. It really just depends on their ability presence and their just individuality as operators on whether they'll get put up into the high tiers or not. But I think Flaws has a lot of potential. Obviously, his drone really isn't that hard to counter in terms of fragging capabilities. Has like a 4-second detonation time, which is plenty of time for someone who's paying attention to just gap it out of there, and that no problemo. If they're locked in a room, then obviously it's a different story. But you can still use it for that soft breach and just distractions. That's what I primarily use it for, just distracting the enemies. I don't really go for kills. But if you can get those distractions off, then you're doing your job completely fine. And I think really that's all you need, honestly. Like, if you can get those distractions, get those, get those defenders moving, that's really all you can ask for. But overall, I think he's, again, probably about B tier operator. I don't think he's a terrible operator at all. Who's to see how he'll end up in the future? But I definitely don't think he's in the top of the line. And obviously, I don't think anyone's top of the line yet, but we'll get there. Next up, we have Fuse. Now, Fuse's ability really has more potential than I think people like to give him credit for. He has 4 cluster charge that have the potential to completely eradicate a room underneath him if he does it above. Eradicate a room from a barricade, eradicate a room from anywhere, and just people have to get the fuck out when this fuse goes off. It's kind of like a Flaws. But he also has access to the AK-12, which is probably one of the better weapons in the game, I'll be completely honest. That thing puts out a lot of damage. Overall, just has a lot of potential as an operator. I think a lot of people like to overlook him. He is slow, obviously. He's not, and he has a lot of other potential as well. He has a shield. He has the what's it called, the Spetsnaz LMG as well. So honestly, overall as an operator, I think he is honestly really good, and he really is overlooked. I feel like I think he has a lot of potential, and I'm just gonna straight up risk it and put him in A. I don't know. People are probably gonna get mad, like Blackbeard, Fuse better than Blackbeard, Fuse better than Dokbai. Yeah, in my opinion they are. Alright, let's get into the next one. Alrighty, next up we have Glaz. Now Glaz overall as an operator can be used really well in the right hands, but I think in the general population, just the fact that he's a sniper really does let him down. And I'm just gonna put him in D. I'll be honest, like I don't want to hate on Glaz, but in the general population, I think he really does just not perform as well as any other operator. Really, I don't think he does. Next up, we have Habana. I think this is probably the first S tier operator that I'm gonna put in. She has incredible weapons in the Type 89 and the Bearing 9. Two really powerful, strong weapons. The Type 89 having like no recoil whatsoever. Maybe so what? It has a small magazine. It has like no recoil. It still has access to ACOG, pretty much any sight you can want. She is the primary hatch hard breacher. She's the go-to for hatch hard breaching at all times. She always will be. Any type of vertical reinforcement play, Habana is the go-to, paired up with that incredible loadout that she has access to. That pretty much sums up Habana in the best way. I don't think there's anything more that needs to be said. The same with Glaz, like they just speak for themselves. Next up we have IQ. Now IQ really can be seen as an S tier operator to some people, because obviously she's their go-to fragger. That's completely fair. She has access to the AUG, the Commando, and the G8. 3 great attacking weapons. Obviously a lot of people have different preferences with these weapons, but overall she's still generally loved, and I think people do really like her loadouts. Her gadget really can be, it's not really necessary, like it's cool. The primary counter is for Valkyrie cams, I think, but pretty much other than that, any of these other gadgets can be detected naturally. I don't think you really need all this IQ software to do it, but her weapon loadout does really pick up her character a lot as an individual. I wouldn't say she's an S tier, but with her fragging capabilities, 3 speed, just overall character build, I'm going to put her in A. I think she definitely has the potential to be an A tier operator, and she deserves to be there. Next up we have Carly. Now Carly, I don't think she's a terrible operator, honestly. She's obviously a sniper that shoots even slower than Glaz. But Glaz just kind of, his character build kind of has more offensive purposes to it, while having that terrible weapon. Carly can work around that by obviously her gun's meant to one tap people in most situations. I don't think she's a D. I'm gonna put her in C. I think she definitely isn't the worst operator in the game like these two. But I don't think she's the best either. I think she probably belongs somewhere around there. Honestly, it's I don't know. I think snipers in Siege just aren't it. But Carly can be a very powerful operator. I know a lot of people do like her, so I'm gonna put her in C. Next up, we have Ash. Now, Ash, in my opinion, is just a shittier Zofia. I know she came out first, but she literally is just a shittier Zofia. Zofia has a better weapon. Zofia has a more power. Zofia literally mimics her gadget pretty much, but has more to her gadget. Ash has 3 speed and all, but I still don't think Ash will ever be better than Zofia. So we all know how Ash is. She definitely belongs in a top tier spot. She has the R4C, really great weapon. Just overall, a great operator. Her gadget really does work in that fragging build, and she is one of the top fraggers in the game. But Zofia will always be better than her, in my opinion, and so that's why she's going to go in A. Next up, we have Lion. Now, Lion, I think overall as a build, he's a mid-tier operator, so I'm going to put him in B right now. I'm not even gonna question it. He has access to quite a solid weapon. He has access to quite a solid ability. Obviously not as powerful as it first came out was. Like, it literally highlighted people in red. Obviously, it's only just an active ping now, which does kind of bring him down a little bit. Now I'm thinking about it, like, that gadget, it's really not the best. Like, the active pings are cool and all. Yeah, actually, no, I'm going to put him in C. But he just overall is probably not the best operator. His weapon is good, but I wouldn't say it's top tier by any means, and his gadget is just being nerfed to the shithouse. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in C. Next up we have Maverick. Maverick has access to a great weapon. He has access to a great pretty much counter to any type of reinforcements. He can go through bandits. He can get rid of bandits. He can go through hatches. Honestly, the most things you'll see in this S tier are probably going to be hard breaches. I think Maverick belongs there, honestly. Pairing up his weapon with his gadget just overall as an operator is great. I think he definitely just belongs in the top tier. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm making these responses shorter. I don't want this video to be like an hour long, so yeah. But pretty much, Maverick, I think he belongs to be there. He deserves to be there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Next up, we have Capitao. Capitao, I don't know. I don't know. His gadget's cool, like the smoke and the fire. That is quite an effective gadget. Pairing that up with his current weapon loadout, I'm gonna put him in B. I think that fits him the most. He has good weapons. The para, his LMG that I can't remember the name of. His gadget, obviously, 2 smokes, 2 fire grenades, can be used well, especially in planting situations, and he's definitely your go-to there, which means he provides support and has fragging capabilities, obviously. I think he belongs there. Next up, we have Gridlock. Gridlock actually has access to really good weapons. Her SMG and her LMG are 2 quite, I think they're called the Saw, actually. I think that's what Capitao has. But they're 2 quite solid weapons. Obviously, she's very slow, which does bring her down. And that's probably why I'm going to end up putting her in the C tier. But actually, now that I think about it, her gadget really is... I think Nomad will still stay better, but I think Gridlock is really on that level that Nomad's at in terms of her gadget quality. So I think she's about a B as well. I was gonna put her in C. I'm trolling. I think she fits that perfectly. She has good weapons. She has a good gadget. Honestly, I'm even considering maybe putting her here. I think she really does have a lot of more potential than people like to admit. I think it's just her slowness that kind of brings her down to a B, in my opinion, and that's probably where I'll leave her. Next up, we have Jackal. Now, Jackal gets banned for a reason. He's an S tier operator. He can constantly ping you for however long he ends up pinging you, depending on how close or far away you are. He has a very incredibly strong weapon. He has a really annoying gadget. There's a reason people don't like him. I think that's why he belongs in the S tier. A lot of people just really hate to go against Jackal just because of the pure nuisance he is to a roaming team. He really does just ruin Aroma's wet dream, I suppose you could call it, and just gets in the way of everything they do. So that's why people don't like him. There's a reason he gets banned so much. It's because he really is a top tier operator. A really good weapon loadout as well, having that shotgun strong primary team up in case you both potato all those primaries, you're probably going to win against a pistol because you have a shotgun. So just, yeah, overall S tier operator in my opinion. Next up we have Nomad, another S tier operator. I'd say she's probably one of the best support operators in this game. She has access to 2 incredible weapons. She has access to the air jab, which is one of the best anti-flank, anti-defuse, anti-whatever you want it to be. It is the best anti-whatever you want it to be behind. It's ahead of Gridlock for sure. The best anti-whatever you want it to be gadget in the game. It stops people from going anywhere as long as you just place them on top of a doorway. That's pretty much all you have to do. And it will stop people from pushing through without getting blown bloody 3 miles the other way. So what more can you ask for? 2 great weapons as well. Definitely an S tier operator. Next up we have Ying. Now Ying, she has good weapons and her ability is efficient, but the fact that it's always blinding teammates is fucking annoying as hell. I can't lie. And overall as an operator, I just don't think she really does. She has potential to be a top tier operator, but I just don't think she is. She has pretty much everything there to be one of the top tier fraggers in the game, but I just don't think it works. For some reason, it just doesn't blend together right in terms of a game setting, and that's what brings her down. I still think she's quite a solid operator though, so I'm gonna put her at B, and I think that probably fits her role the best. Next up we have Thatcher. He's obviously an S tier operator. It's fucking Thatcher. He has access to, he can anti-gadget any gadget in the game. He can disable them. Obviously he doesn't destroy them anymore, but he still is a top tier operator. He has access to the L8, AR-33, 2 great weapons in my opinion, and just has an overall perfect attacker build to bring pretty much every, like, a Thermite Thatcher is like your go-to for pretty much any map, any ranked game ever. So obviously he belongs in the S tier, and there's a reason he gets banned so much as well. Next up we have Sledge. Now we're getting into the S tier operators. I thought it was looking empty for a while. It's because they're all at the end. Sledge is the best vertical play operator in the game, and that's why I'm going to put him at S tier, because obviously we need one of each specific role. If I were to move anyone out of here, if I were to cut it down, it'd probably be Maverick, but I think he belongs there for now. But Sledge obviously has access to that vertical play ability with the sledgehammer, the L8 what's the weapon? The L8 AR, sorry, that just phased my mind. A really solid weapon overall, and he has access to frag grenades, which you can utilize in vertical play, which is always going to be the better, just make him better than Buck in my opinion. Literally just the frag grenades. If you're playing vertical play, you're going to want those frag grenades. Really, you don't need them, but they just help. They really do just help, and I think they definitely just make up this character, and he just belongs there. So yeah. Sophia, here we go, another S tier operator. This is the S tier Fragger. As I said, she's always going to be better than Ash. I pretty much already summed her up. She has a better ability, a better weapon in my opinion, and just a better everything about her. She is 2 speed, that's like the only difference. Everything else she's better in. Next up we have Thermite, again another S tier operator. He is the best hard breacher in the game. He will always be that for me, at least. Maybe I'm an old head, I don't know. But I think he has the weapon, the 5.56. He has the ability, obviously the Thermite charge, best hard breacher in the game. There's nothing more you can ask for. Thermite definitely belongs there. Twitch. Now, we're finally done. Neither of these two are S tiers, so I'll just get that out of the way. If that means you're done, then I'll catch you later. But Twitch, she has a great weapon, and that really does pick up. Her ability has been nerfed so much. She would have been an S tier operator for like year 2, 3. I think she got nerfed in 4. But for now, I'd say she's about an A tier operator. I'll always have love for Twitch, so this might be a biased opinion. Her weapon really is my favorite to ever use. It's just great, but I just don't think she'll ever be on the level she used to be since they nerfed her and all that recharge shot stuff. It's just not my thing. And yeah, so peace out Twitch, but you're still a top tier operator in my opinion. And last up we have Zero, the second newest operator. I really haven't used much Zero since he came out. I think his ability is cool, but I just really don't think it's necessary for pretty much anything. It takes a while for it to dig through the walls, which means if you're trying to get rid of like if you're trying to get rid of a gadget on the other time, it's just going to get shot if there's a defender anywhere near that room. His guns, he's a very slow operator. His gun's pretty good. I'd like to say it's pretty good, but I don't think it's the best. I'm just going to chuck him at C. I think that's probably where he fits the most, and that's probably what I'll go with right here. Obviously my D tier is a little bit low. I could always do this and even it out a little bit, maybe even that, but I'm going to cut these operators some slack. I don't think they're the worst operators in the game by any chance. I'd say that's these two. But with that said, that's my tier list. I hope you guys did find this video enjoyable. I hope you guys found this video relatable, useful, whatever you want to call it. If you disagree or agree with any of these, please do let me know and let the people in the comment section know. Let's get some conversations going down in the comment section. I'd love to see that. And otherwise, if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, drop a sub, notification bell. Also, make sure to come check out my Twitch streams. Links in the description down below. I'd love to see you guys there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.